It all started with a fake smile and a spotlight. For years, certain late-night hosts sold themselves as the moral compass of America, pointing fingers, cracking truthful jokes, acting like they're above the very people they mock. But behind the applause and studio lights, something darker was always brewing, and now the cracks are showing. One of the biggest names in late night, Jimmy Kimmel, has built a reputation around snarky political jabs and playing the righteous guy on TV. But he's got a past that doesn't quite match the act.
Very same celebrities who wanted you to believe they were...
Got a big thrill because some of the crowd booed Taylor Swift when they put her up on the Jumbotron, which of course made Harry Conman Sr. very happy. He posted 3 times about this. After the game, he wrote, "The only one that had a tougher night than the Chiefs was Taylor Swift. She got booed out of the stadium. MAGA is very unforgiving."
There was no stage, no shouting match, no dramatic face-off. But somehow, it hit harder than any televised argument could. The takedown came not through noise, but precision like a scalpel, not a sledgehammer. No cameras in her face, no screaming headlines. Just a few perfectly placed words, and Jimmy Kimmel's polished image began to unravel.
You all know what they saw. They saw what we saw. They saw the frail elderly man who needed help getting off the stage. They're just too chicken to tell us about it, because they accurately deduced that he could still be the Democratic nominee, and they don't want to ding him up. Maybe you give Barbara a pass. Who gives a damn what this singer saw or says? But you know what? Jimmy Kimmel happens to be employed by ABC, which happens to have a rather large news organization. And he has been one of President Trump's most vocal critics. Where are you, Jimmy? On vacation? Not good enough. No, not Oppenheimer. It was sanctimonious leftists for their lead role in pretending they are better than you. Winner number 1, Jimmy Kimmel. For the 4th time, Kimmel hosted the Oscars before an adoring crowd of Hollywood stars who laughed and curried favor with the man who wore blackface so many times. Yes, some of the very same celebrities who wanted you to believe they were horrified after yours truly said in 2018 that people used to don dark makeup in order to imitate well-known black celebrities.
This wasn't just a critique of one man, it was an expose of an entire system built on fake outrage and selective memory. The question wasn't just what Kimmel did, but why so many powerful people pretended not to see it. Now let's talk numbers, because the truth isn't just hiding in the past, it's sitting right there in the ratings. Jimmy Kimmel's show cost tens of millions of dollars to produce. Lavish sets, full crews, primetime slots, all for what? Around 1.5 million viewers a night. And in the key demo, barely over 200,000. That's not star power. That's a slow decline. Compare that to what's happening online.
Now, I will tell you, he's not the worst. The Daily Show has the worst ratings. They only have 366,000 people watching that show. During the Jon Stewart years, it was over 2 million. Now it's down to 300,000. Seth Meyers, absolutely dreadful. He doesn't even have 1 million, 778,000. I mean, for network television, this is, you don't have to pay for it. It's there when you turn on your TV, you plug it in. That's a dreadful number.
Independent voices streaming from a basement with just a webcam are pulling in more views without the studio, without the budget, without the corporate machine backing them. That's not a small shift. That's a media earthquake. The ground is moving under Kimmel's feet, and he's still acting like it's 2010. People aren't laughing the way they used to. Not because jokes aren't funny, but because the audience can smell the agenda. Kimmel's once neutral humor has turned into a predictable parade of political jabs, always aimed one way. What used to be a place for laughs now feels like a lecture with a punchline. And that's why the quiet takedown hit so hard. Because while he stood there in his suit, reading from a teleprompter to an ever-shrinking crowd, someone else armed with nothing but facts, and fire managed to shake the room without even stepping inside it. And then came the moment that really exposed just how thin Kimmel's armor had become. He decided to take a jab at Donald Trump for mocking Taylor Swift. That's right. At the Super Bowl, Taylor Swift appeared on the Jumbotron and got booed by a chunk of the crowd. Trump pointed it out. Kimmel lost it. He called Trump Harry Conman Sr., mocked his posts, and tried to spin the situation like Trump was obsessing over Swift's bad night. But here's the catch. Trump had actually been cheered at the very same game. Loudly. Publicly. Meanwhile, Swift's moment didn't go as smoothly. And yet Kimmel didn't say a word about that. He didn't mention the cheers for Trump. Just the boos for Taylor and how obsessed Trump supposedly was. It was a perfect example of the kind of selective storytelling that's become Kimmel's signature. Protected. While the audience thought they were getting truth wrapped in humor, what they were really getting was a one-sided sermon disguised as late-night entertainment. And the worst part? The things that were supposed to be satire weren't even clever anymore. They were just petty. That's when people stopped laughing and started paying attention. Because once you peel back the just a joke excuse, you see what's really been hiding behind the laughter, a voice that only speaks up when it's convenient and stays silent when it matters most. But it didn't stop there. The takedown zoomed out and looked at the entire media machine surrounding Kimmeland suddenly. The silence wasn't just his, it was everywhere. Especially at ABC, the network that signs his checks, the same ABC that proudly calls itself a news organization, the same ABC that fired The Bachelor host Chris Harrison for merely questioning if a contestant deserved the outrage she got for going to an antebellum-themed party years earlier. All Harrison did was ask, should we judge her by today's standards or by the standards of the time? That question alone got him kicked out. Gone. Done. But Jimmy Kimmel? He didn't just ask questions. He wore full blackface. Repeatedly. On camera. With jokes. And he still hosts the Oscars. Still delivers monologues. Still gets a standing ovation from the very same celebrities who scream cancel him at everyone else. That's not just hypocrisy. That's a straight-up double standard in high definition. One rule for the people they like, a different one for everyone else. And this isn't just about past mistakes, it's about who gets punished and who gets protected. The system doesn't care what you did, it only cares what side you're on. And when someone finally pointed that out, it wasn't just Kimmel who looked exposed, it was the entire machine behind him. Now picture this, not a chaotic debate, not a viral meltdown, but something far colder. She didn't rush the stage or throw accusations on live TV. Instead, she sat quietly, reviewed the tapes, studied the transcripts, and cut through Jimmy Kimmel's career with the precision of a surgeon. Clip by clip, post by post, she mapped out the patterns. She didn't scream hypocrisy, she showed it. The jokes that punched down, the ones that blurred into misinformation, the moments where comedy turned into smug mockery, stripped of cleverness, and she didn't need dramatic delivery. The truth did the talking. That's what made it so brutal.